For decades, financial security followed simple instructions: get a degree, find a stable employer, and let a steady paycheck carry you into retirement. It looked like a solid foundation. But when you look closely at that structure today, you start to see the fractures. A traditional job relies entirely on one employer. If that company restructures, changes direction, or decides your role is unnecessary, your income drops to zero instantly. You didn't do anything wrong, but because your financial security is tied to a single point of failure, the floor can move completely without warning. There is an alternative approach. Instead of waiting for a single company to dictate your value, a growing number of people are building wealth by acquiring digital skills. These are highly specific abilities that allow you to generate income directly from the open market, independent of any single employer. This strategy takes time. It won't make you rich overnight. But by relying on your own verifiable output rather than a corporate budget, you permanently take control of your financial floor. No single entity can pull it out from under you. If you want to build that independence, you immediately face a question. Out of the hundreds of tools and software programs out there, which specific skills do businesses actually spend money on? To answer that, take a look at this flowchart of the digital value chain. It breaks down the exact life cycle required for any internet business to survive and generate revenue. It moves through 4 distinct stages: visibility, conversion, infrastructure, and optimization. Every company operating online encounters severe bottlenecks at these 4 stages. If traffic stops or if a website breaks, revenue halts. Because of that, business owners will gladly pay a premium to anyone who can step in and unblock those systems. Financial independence doesn't come from learning a skill simply because it sounds impressive. It comes from strategically inserting yourself into this exact value chain, solving an ongoing problem, and capturing a portion of the wealth flowing through it. Let's look at the first bottleneck: visibility. A business can engineer the best product in its industry, but if no one can find it online, that business will fail. This diagram shows how businesses solve that problem, starting at the top of the funnel with search engine optimization, or SEO. This is the practice of structuring web pages so they rank higher in search results. Someone who understands SEO generates a steady, compounding stream of organic traffic without the company needing to rely on paid advertising. To accelerate that visibility, businesses use digital marketing and paid advertising. This skill creates a measurable system to buy immediate reach on social media and search engines. A marketer who can turn $1 of ad spend into $3 of revenue provides a highly quantifiable return on investment. Once that traffic arrives, it hits the second bottleneck: conversion. Visitors must be convinced to stay on the page and actually make a purchase. One way to capture that attention is video editing. Editors solve the bottleneck of viewer retention. They take raw, disjointed footage and add pacing, sound design, and visual structure to create something an audience actually wants to watch to the end. Working right alongside that is copywriting. This is the skill of writing words that persuade a specific reader to take action, whether that's clicking a link or buying a product. Changing the words on a page can dramatically alter how much a product sells. Visibility and conversion directly govern a business's revenue. Because these front-end skills impact the bottom line so clearly, they translate into freelance income faster than almost any others. But generating traffic and sales is only half the equation. The third bottleneck is infrastructure. Every digital storefront needs a seamless system operating behind the scenes. That requires web design and development. This skill covers everything from the visual layout and user experience to the back-end code that ensures buttons actually click, forms submit, and pages load properly. More recently, this infrastructure layer has expanded to include no-code development. Using visual tools, a single person can now build complex software, custom internal tools, and automated workflows, things that used to require entire teams of computer science engineers. Finally, as these systems run, they generate massive amounts of information. This leads to the fourth bottleneck, the elimination of guesswork. Most businesses are drowning in data they don't use. Data analysis is the skill of taking those raw numbers and translating them into profitable next steps. It removes gut-feeling decisions, allowing a business owner to know exactly what's working and what needs to change. Now, a common mistake is searching for one magic skill to learn in isolation. Instead, look at this diagram. The highest value comes from combining 2 or 3 complementary skills into a single offering. This strategy is known as skill stacking. For example, plenty of people can write, but a copywriter who also understands SEO and basic web design offers a complete solution rather than requiring a business owner to source and manage several different contributors. Skill stacking acts as a form of insurance, protecting your income against automation or industry shifts while making your specific value to the market undeniable. Knowing these skills is one thing. Getting hired to use them introduces a practical barrier known as the proof paradox. Clients are naturally cautious. They rarely pay a newcomer without a track record, no matter how capable that person claims to be. The way through this is to build visible proof before you seek out clients. You can do a small number of projects at a discount or create original sample projects from scratch, specifically to generate a tangible portfolio. Spending months secretly preparing without producing any visible output is a trap. Skills that exist only in your head are functionally invisible to the market. Once you have proof, income usually follows a predictable path. You start on crowded freelance platforms and eventually graduate to targeting businesses directly, ultimately building a compounding engine of high-quality referrals from your early clients. Producing a small amount of imperfect, visible work is the singular action that bridges the gap between learning a skill and actually getting paid for it. We have to be realistic about the timeline here. Reaching a professional standard and replacing a full-time salary requires months and often years of consistent, deliberate effort. But the long-term payoff becomes clear when we check this chart. A traditional job trades your time for a fixed, linear wage. By contrast, independent digital income starts slowly, but as your reputation grows and you raise your rates, it forms an exponential curve. Over time, that compounding income allows you to create scalable assets. You can transition from hourly work into productized services, digital products, or small agencies, severing the strict tie between the hours you work and the dollars you earn. This path requires trading the short-term certainty of a regular paycheck for a much slower, more deliberate strategy, but it remains one of the few viable frameworks available to permanently take the responsibility for your financial future out of someone else's hands and build a foundation of unbreakable wealth.